You're watching the free version of Silhouette Essentials. For projects and footage, head to BorisFX.com for the premium download.
So for the chin, it was just about the same exact process. So if I go up to my clean plate, here's my source, and my clean plate was made at 109 because I thought that would be a good frame for the clean plate. Let's go to that frame right now. And then there's my clean paint. Okay, so then I rendered that out and I brought that into my tree below, and I have my tracking here. I'll just open up this Mocha Pro so you can see what I did. I'll launch the Mocha Pro node here. And this was my method here. Just zoom in. So here I made a mouth shape to occlude the mouth because I didn't want that to be confusing the tracking here. And then I have my chin, which is the mesh. So you see there's a lot of deformation down here when she's talking. It's a little bit more of a different movement than the forehead. So I saved that and we went back into Silhouette. Here we are. And I created the roto node that I needed. This has all the data that I need. Here's the chin shape. So I just made sort of a G-matty shape here. It needed a little bit more articulation, but for the most part it worked out. And then if I composite it together, you can see here is the chin. I'll just zoom out a little bit. So we have the original and the composite. So I think that looks really good. It's smooth, it's clean, it animates correctly, and it's a big improvement. So then at the end of the shot, I need to combine all the alphas. And so if I look at my alpha here, I have the top and the bottom, but I need to add the alpha for the paint. So I just use an alpha composite node and I add them together and to my final. So this here is the final. And all the work is done. So the last thing just to look at here is just to compare the original, as no paint at all, with the completed plate, the completed paint. I'll zoom in here. Let's go to a frame like this and I'll do a snapshot of the original. And we'll click on the split screen here. So you can see all the work that was done. Okay, so next up, I'm going to show you how to use the Silhouette plugin in Premiere Pro. So here we are inside an empty Premiere Pro project, and I've double-clicked on the sources window to open up the Finder window to bring in my sequence. But I don't want to bring in the sequence like a movie file. I want to bring in individual frames, and to do that, you need to make sure that you can have that option. I show the options here. I click on my first frame here, and it's image sequence. And this sequence is the result of my final render in Silhouette, and I'm going to bring this in. So import, and then I'll just drag this into the timeline. But you can see it looks kind of funny because it's just kind of being pre-multiplied with my alpha. So what you can do is go under alpha, just type that in. I'm not sure. Here we are, alpha. So keying alpha adjust, I'm just going to drag that in here. And I'm going to ignore the alpha. And now we can see our shot. So I'm ready to use it in my edit here. But what I realized is that there's something else that needs to be painted out. And there's this little tiny piece of debris in the hair. So I'm going to bring in the Silhouette plugin and we'll paint it. So I'll just go up to the search window here, type Silhouette, and then It's right here. And we'll just drag it. And here we are onto our clip. And then we can just open the interface here. Right now, it's just going to clear the alpha and open that up. So now we need to save our project. So if it's a paint project, and we're going to create the project. So create it. And then I'm just going to name this class 6. Premiere Pro demo. Okay, then we'll just save that. So now we have the interface all set up. And now we can just paint out this piece of debris as usual. I have my input here. I have my paint. And we can just start painting. So I'm not going to track this or do anything special. I'm just going to start painting by hand. I can also just click on the alpha here to make sure I'm painting in the alpha. Okay, so I'm not going to go through and paint the whole shot because that would just take too much time, right, for the demo. So I'm just going to save and quit out of this, save project, and then we'll just close it. And then back in Premiere Pro, you can see that the debris is painted out for the frames that I painted. But wait, there's just one more thing we can do. Since we saved our silhouette project to disk, we can actually open it externally, and we'll do that next. So here back in Silhouette, I can open the project that we saved from Premiere Pro, and that's this project right here. So I can open that up, and you can see that the input is not there. So I actually need to bring in the input, which is our sources. So I'm going to go here, I'm going to navigate to where we want to be. It was our pre-comp combine. I'm going to bring in this paint here. And I'm going to hold down the Alt option and just drag it on top of the input. And now we have our frames. So you can see there's the source and there's the paint. And then we can finish it off here if we want. So one thing to note here is that the frame numbers are off. It's 1 to 37, but we can fix that. And to do that, we can create a new session, click on the sources here, click on the source window here. We'll just call this updated frame numbers. And it's going to start at 94. That's what we want, and click OK. Then we'll go back to our session here, and I'm going to just copy this, copy, and paste this into here. We don't need that. And we'll hook this up. And now you can see that the paint and the frame numbers line up, and our alpha's there as well. So we can finish off the paint here or render it, whatever we want. So the last thing I'm going to do here is just bring in my silhouette project that had the finished paint. We'll just save this, save project, close this, and we'll open this one, see if it's a recent one. Here we go. And now we have our initial session from Premiere Pro, and then we have the final. And here it's all painted out. The debris is gone. We have all our alphas here. And then here's the output node. And this was our final DD noise paint. And then all that has to be done is the regraining, but we've already done that in a previous class, so I'm not going to do it here. So once more, we'll zoom in. Here's the final compared with the original. And we've come a long way. This concludes class 6. I covered a lot with this beauty paint shot. We explored 2 methods of painting with detail separation, incorporated tracking, filters, and extractions into the process, utilized power mesh for tricky areas, organized our project to keep the process orderly, learned how to use the Silhouette plugin in Premiere Pro, and finished off with additional exporting options. See you in the next class.